This episode of Sister Wives was meant to honor the life of Garrison Brown, or as I like to call him, Big G, whose loss has shaken the entire Brown family and its viewers. And for the most part, this episode was a great representation of just that. Meri, Christine, Janelle, they brought us into their pain, their love, their memories. They showed us real grief, honest, raw, human. And then of course, there was Robyn and Kody in their segment. Apparently, every tragic moment is just another backdoor spinoff pilot pitch for the king and queen of confused priorities. But we'll get to them in a minute. Meri's journey. Meri opened up about how empty she felt after Garrison's death. She felt lost. She felt confused. She didn't know what to do. So she reached out to her helpline, which was her friend Jen. And in best friend Jen fashion, she told Meri to bring food and be present with Janelle. This is more than just good advice. When people are grieving, they forget to eat, they forget to sleep, they forget that life goes on around them. Meri's choice to bring food wasn't just about being helpful, it was about showing up. The first step of grief, presence, love, humanity. And let's not forget, food in itself is good for the soul. It's love in its edible form. A home cooked meal says, I'm here for you when words fall short. And in moments like these, comfort food isn't just physical, it's emotional. It nourishes the spirit. And Meri brought a full plate of compassion. Christine and David's journey. Christine's segment felt deeply personal, and in many ways, it showed us just how emotionally available her new husband David really is. David shared his experience of loss and how his ex-wife had deleted herself almost 15 years ago, and how he was the one who had to tell his kids about this tragedy. You could see that even though there's a huge distance between when it happened to now, that this event has already shaped him in a certain way, and it continues to break him in many ways. And yet, in that pain, he delivered the opportunity for us to have a discussion about some very powerful truths. First, grief is not linear. You might laugh, then cry, then laugh again. Who knows? This is just the cycle of how it works and how you work your way through it. There's no roadmap. There's no definite start, no final conclusion or specified ending. You can't schedule it on a calendar. Second, you don't need to perform sadness. There is no correct or incorrect way to reconcile the reality of your loss. No one expects you to rend your clothes and scream and yell in the streets so everyone knows how you feel. Everybody experiences grief their own way, and they express it in their own way in their own time. Third, everyone, not just the kids, may need therapy or help. Now, David said it was the kids who needed therapy. I want to gently expand the idea to include the adults too. Parents are so busy trying to be strong that they forget they're grieving too. They're human too. We need help. We need to take our own advice. Stop saying, I'm okay, I'm fine. Recognize that we may need help too, and we may need to seek help as well. We may have to talk to somebody. Janelle's journey. Janelle's tribute to Garrison was heartbreaking and beautiful. She spoke of his love for cats and honored him by creating a donation to the shelter he cared for so deeply. When she visited the room dedicated to Garrison, you could feel the weight of her pain. This was the first time she saw the room. Apparently, she didn't go to the original dedication. I suspect because she couldn't. It's probably just hurt too much and she couldn't deal with it at the time, which is completely understandable. However, when she finally did, her silence spoke louder than any words ever could. Grief in her case was quiet, stoic, deeply felt. It was powerful television, not just dramatic, but it was real. And then, because every symphony of sincerity needs a kazoo solo,
Look, my kazoo. Wow, is that a kazoo? I want a kazoo.
we entered the Seinfeld portion of the show. And for those who don't remember Seinfeld, it was literally a show about nothing. And so was their segments. Adventures in the Absurd. Look, I'll be honest. I tried to give the curl top kid and Liebrows a wide berth in this episode. I really did. But during their segment, they did everything short of holding open auditions for their spinoff series pitch, Sister Wives 2, Wyoming Boogaloo. You could join, just come on down to the big hall and we could cast you right away. Just bring plenty of money and checks endorsed to Kody Brown, LLC, or Dabsark, LLC. See you there. Their segment started with Short King reminiscing about how he decided to bury Garrison in Wyoming. This was reinforced by Liebrows describing how they were taking him home and how he was just going to be a passenger in their car. The car filled with their immediate family. Sweet, right? Except Janelle had already said that she and Cue Ball had made the decision together. In fact, he was to be buried next to Janelle's mom.
But wait, there's more.
Instead of staying focused on their grief, the burial, or literally anything relevant to what we're here watching and what the underlying storyline of this particular episode is, we get a bizarre detail into Kody's past life as a sign salesman.
What? What the fuck?
Yes, signs. As in the literal things that say, shop at Bob's sign. Because that's what we were needed to see in this episode. That's what was missing. A man mid-grief doing an awkward product placement commercial.
Shop smart. Shop S-smart.
You got that?
Side note, historically, I heard that the compromised king tried to get free goods and services in exchange for appearances of businesses on the show. This is an old entertainment trick. Work for free in exchange for exposure. With that in mind, I have to ask, is that what this was? Did he get a big money saddle made at the expense of the segment on Garrison's tribute episode?
That's my sign right there.
Oh.
That sign was made out of angle iron framing. So an angle iron is a piece of metal that's bent in half, about an inch on one side and an inch on the other side. And then there's a neon band.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And you can tell that the producers weren't buying it either. They even showed the kids looking like they were trapped in the world's worst career day ever. Honestly, when your own family looks like they're blinking SOS, help, please send help right away, I'm in trouble.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Maybe it's time to wrap it up.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
They tried to shoe in some family time playing with the younger kids, laughing, chatting, not one tear in sight. Now, don't get me wrong. Like David said, and like I said previously, grief doesn't always look like sobbing in a corner. But if all I see is giggles, nostalgia, and neon signs, that's not grief. That's B-roll for a reel on a traveling vlog site. Wyoming Wanderers, the road to ratings. I am old enough to remember last season where Robyn claimed her kids didn't know who the older kids were because they weren't around. So clearly, the loss of a stranger to them isn't going to affect them like it affects everyone else. But you don't have to put that on display. Why put them in the line of fire for criticism and everything else? Just leave them out of the episode. Look, if they're not ready to talk about Garrison, that's okay. Honestly, That's human. But don't show up to the memorial episode of your dead son acting like you're filming a quirky side quest, something that you just want to do and some fun that you're having and some, well, let's walk on down memory lane. Like it just didn't fit with the whole tenor of the episode. Final thoughts? Meri, Christine, and Janelle gave us their hearts. They invited us into their mourning. They demonstrated their grief. They allowed us to see them work through their grieving process. They honored Garrison. The Short King and Liebrows gave us a roadside tourism pitch on the excitement of Kody, Wyoming. The show didn't need their segment. I don't know why it was included, to be honest with you. Frankly, Garrison's memory deserved better. If you're not ready to grieve publicly, take the episode off. Just tell them you're not showing up. I can't do it. It's too powerful. It's too much for me. Beg off of doing it. It's fine. Nobody would have been mad at you. I wouldn't have said anything about you. But don't turn a memorial into a marketing opportunity. Outro. Rest in peace, Garrison. You are deeply loved, deeply missed, and no matter how many signs your father sells, your legacy is something that could never be manufactured.
He's out of line, but he's right.
That's my take. I'm James. This has been a My Take on Reality episode, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right.